Mr. Manley. I'm just here to demonstrate my robot that I made for requirement 4 in robotics merit badge. So hold on, let me put the robot way up here. Alright. There we go. Okay. So now that my robot is in, I'm going to explain to you a little bit about it. I'm going to get the controller real quick. So this robot is a human-robot interface field. It's also in the programming as well as mobility. So this robot, in this game, I'm doing a robotics game competition. It has to take all this trash out of this spinning container right here. And so there are 3 of them over here. These all represent different oceans. This is the Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Pacific Ocean. So this all represents all the trash that is being collected up in the ocean because people are littering on the beaches and they get washed all the way out. And so these represent all the different oceans with their trash island. So our robot has to be able to maneuver along this beam, and we can. We have to drive along here, scoop out the trash. So, whoops, here we are. This is our robot. It uses 3 bicycle chain style systems. Hold up. Here we are. Get that. It gets stuck occasionally. But it has a very long reach, as you can see, and is fairly maneuverable and fast. So let me see if I can scoop out some trash real quick. Our arm has a total reach of, I think, 37 to 40 inches. And it's pretty effective at what it does. This gyre is a little bit harder to cope with, but yeah. And so, in addition to cleaning out the trash in the oceans, we also have to take trash from the oceans, drop them off over here, where there's a person from our team who will have a box, and they'll collect all the trash that's dropped from the robot, and they're going to put it in these little boxes. So these are called reef blocks. They're actually being used right now. They're making artificial reefs in the oceans. And so that's essentially what we're doing. You put it in a reef block for the same kind, for Coke bottles, or for these little water bottles, or for these 1-liter bottles. You put them in a box, and then you put them on this shelf to be loaded. As you can see, this is very highly stacked, and that's because in the rules we're only allowed to have 1 box on the shelf, and so 1 box is touching the shelf, but we stacked everything else on top. So this robot is very versatile. It can score these boxes. The boxes, in order to score them, we have to lift them onto this shelf, or that shelf. They're all the same. And our robot has the ability to do that through this little hook on the end. It's a little box clamp. And so I'm going to back up a little bit and try and see if I can score you a box. Be pretty careful with this. Sometimes you can make the whole mission fail. There we go. And as you can see, I've got this 1 box. I've managed to score on some of the very, very high shelves, but for the sake of demonstration, we'll just go for an easy one. And so none of these different locations for the boxes have any particular scoring. They're all worth the same amount once they're up here. So yeah, you get a small point bonus when you score up here. But yeah, we can score different kinds of boxes. what I mean by that is there's big boxes and small boxes. The big boxes have the 1 liter bottles, there's 4 of them, so they're a bit heavier. The small boxes have either aluminum cans or 8-ounce water bottles and also 16-ounce Coke bottles. So there's a little bit of weight variance in the small box genre, but for the most part they're a lot lighter than lifting this, as you'll see in just a second. This is a lot heavier. There we go. This is a very, very, very heavy box, which I'm actually even surprised that we can score this. But we can. Ooh, that's tough. Yeah. One of the challenges with this game is that since we are on a beam, we have to stay on the beam. The beam is very unstable. The beam is this thing, and it's on a spring right here, which is one of the reasons why it keeps on wobbling like that. It's on a rope at the other end, so it's very easy to rock the boat, so to speak. Yeah, enough about the game. I can show you a little bit about how this robot works. So, like I said, it has 3 bicycle chain systems. What I mean by that is it's just a belt running around 2 different circles. So this here, this motor is releasing string and pulling in string here, which makes it go down and up. Same with this, it does the same thing. And this rotating system, it's on a giant wheel, string attached to it being pulled, makes it turn to the side. And then of course our little wheel there. So yeah, hope you enjoyed watching the robot.